Something people don't want to see in women is rage. Not just irritation, not just attitude. I mean feminine rage. The kind that builds when you've been told to smile through hell. And let me tell you, no one loves being told to smile more than a woman who is already pissed off. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rebuilt Different. I am your host, Epiphany Paige. If you came here for soft focus healing and a round of applause for surviving, sorry, you're in the wrong room. Here, we get real, we get messy, we talk about the breakdowns that actually lead to breakthroughs. So let's get into it. What is feminine rage? It's anger that women are told to bury because it makes us unlikable or too dramatic or unstable. And it comes from trauma, abuse, injustice, and it's the quiet exhaustion of being told to rise above while everyone piles more weight on your shoulders. And sometimes it's passed down through generations because the women before us weren't even allowed to say it out loud. We were told to be strong, bounce back, don't let them see you break. But no one talks about what that actually means. Because when you bury your feelings, they don't disappear. They leak out sideways, and they can come out in surprising ways. And sometimes that turns into anger that you can't even explain. Like, we've all seen someone who blows up over something that seems small, but you know it's not really about that thing. It's definitely about something else. And here's the crazy part. Women get called angry to shut us up, and men get called angry, and people rally behind them. I have lived it. Growing up in New Hampshire as one of the only Black girls in my school, I was constantly told to smile through compliments that weren't actually fucking compliments. Like, oh, you're the prettiest Black girl I've ever seen. That's just not a compliment. That is rage fuel. Or when the whole class would swivel to look at me anytime a lesson mentioned a Black person. Ever. Anywhere. Ever in history. Absolutely exhausting. Then, later in corporate jobs, it was the same pattern. Actually, not too long ago, one boss asked me why I would even want to walk in the Women's March. The COO of the same company relentlessly told me that I was actually white because I'm from New Hampshire. Said it in front of other executives. I went to HR. And 2 weeks later, I was one of the only people who was laid off. Funny how that works, right? I'm going to let you guys connect the dots on that one. But my rage was not just about workplaces. At 12, I survived cancer, but people called me brave, but really I was terrified. And once I started playing sports, it taught me discipline and grit, but also that pushing through pain equals strength. Then in 2018, I had a stroke and everybody told me, oh my God, you're so strong, you're so resilient, but I wasn't. I didn't feel that way. I was exhausted and I was so angry, like screaming, why me? Why again? Why do I always have to fight harder? And I think that was a turning point for me. That's when I stopped performing resilience. I stopped swallowing my pain to make everybody else comfortable. And I started letting myself actually feel things. But during recovery and after, I definitely isolated myself. I was dealing with toxic boss after toxic boss. Toxic boyfriend, family tension. I snapped at friends who didn't deserve it. But my rage didn't come from nowhere. It was built layer by layer, year after year, from holding everything together for everybody else and not addressing it. But sometimes the strongest thing you can do isn't just pushing through. It's just dropping the weight and saying, I'm tired and I need help now. I started with boundaries, saying no when I was empty, letting people see me cry instead of laughing it off, and definitely speaking without sugarcoating. And then I started asking myself, why am I angry right now? Is this even about what I think it is, or is it something deeper? Is this something else? And when I started to slow down and started listening first and learning to respond instead of react, little by little, things started to shift. Big emotions aren't bad. I've got big emotions. You just have to know your triggers, learn your triggers, and then learn how to channel them into something that's productive. I also had to get real and ask myself, is the strength that people see in me actually resilience, or am I just exhausted, and on autopilot? Am I holding it together because it serves me or because I'm scared of who I will be if I finally let shit go? The first step in rebuilding is recognizing that. You got to feel it. You got to name it. That's how the real work starts. Because strength without boundaries becomes an absolute prison. Trust me, I should know. And without rest, it becomes burnout. Without feeling, it becomes numbness. Especially for women, and especially for women of color, being praised for strength can be a trap. And sometimes that admired strength is just running on fumes, swallowing your pain, and showing up for everybody else while abandoning yourself. I did that for years. But we are not doing that shit anymore. Stop doing it. But if that's where you are, it's not a failure. It is the moment to choose something different. And that's where the real rebuilding begins. Be kind to yourself in the process. If you feel that you're in a spot where you feel rage, you are not broken, it means that something inside of you just refuses to stay silent. But ask yourself, is the strength that people see in me really resilience? Or am I exhausted and just on autopilot? And am I holding it together because it serves me or because I'm scared of taking the leap into the unknown and I'm scared of who I'll be if I finally let go? The rebuilding doesn't stop here. Share this with a friend who's tired of being called strong when they're actually tired. DM me your story. Tell me what you're rebuilding. And remember, you are not broken. You are just being rebuilt different.